I don't know. I think it all started with the music festivals. My friends and I would go to these massive festivals that sometimes lasted as long as 3 days. We'd bring some beer and liquor to drink beforehand, but for me, the party never really got started until we took some ecstasy right before our favorite artist. I remember sitting on a patch of grass outside of one of the stages with a buddy of mine, and we were just waiting for the drugs to kick in. But when they did, I can remember turning to him and saying, I just don't get why people don't do this every single day. I guess when things really started to get out of hand is when my friends would just be having, a couple beers by the second and third day, but I would be taking just as much ecstasy as I did on the first day, and sometimes even more. It wasn't about the music. It wasn't about the experience or spending time with my friends. For me, it really became about taking as many drugs as I possibly could. And if it weren't for my best friend Ryan, I'm not even sure I'd still be alive today.
How would I describe Jack back then? Well, first let me say that he's always been the same guy. He's fun, funny, smart, he likes people, he likes to be around people. He brings those around him out of their shell and makes them feel at home. But when we all started experimenting with drugs back in high school, he really took to them. There was the same friendly and fun-loving guy, but he was just distracted. He wasn't focused on his friends, wasn't focused on his family or his school. He just wanted to plan the next high and find someone to do it with. It was sad for me at first, but it got scary in college when things took a turn for the worse. I could see that he was struggling, even though he was good at pretending things were going well for him. But since we were so close, I was able to see things were slipping through the cracks even when nobody else did. So I got together with his brother and another friend of ours, and we sat him down. I told him, hey, listen, Jack, this isn't going to take very long because there's not a lot to say except that we love you and you need help. So we showed him the rehab that we had researched and even assured him that his family and his friends would support him both morally and financially. And I remember he was quiet for a bit. And he asked for a day to think about it. And I think it's safe to say that he made the right choice.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say that rehab was the best decision of my life. Granted, it was the hardest decision, but also the best. I think the thing that made it the hardest was that there's such a bad stigma associated with rehab. People hear the word addict and immediately draw back. I mean, I was the same. In my mind, I thought that the second I checked into that place, I would be no different than the junkie that lives under the bus stop down the road. But my experience was something much different. In fact, it was unlike anything that I'd expected. It isn't a place where you're sat down and forced to write, "Don't do drugs," on a piece of paper until your hand falls off. It's really a place where people who struggle with substance abuse are able to learn more about themselves. I was able to come back after a few short months and hit the reset button and pursue an entirely different lifestyle. Now, that isn't to say that I haven't had struggles, but it is safe to say that life has a savor to it that I've missed since childhood. I just hope one day that my story can give someone the extra push it might take to get help for themselves or even a loved one.